problem.
Yep.
Hello.
Hey.
Are we live?
We are. Oh, I think we are live.
Hello.
Hi, guys. Hold up. Let us do the transition. Hello, welcome to King Smith. This is the King Smith podcast. Yeah, it's been like a month.
I know, right?
It's been forever.
We're your hosts. I'm Zach. That guy's Nathan.
He's kind of being interesting, isn't he? I've got Obi-Wan over here. Obi-Wan's a girl, by the way. Yeah, the reason why I named them Anakin and Obi-Wan is because it was literally easier for me to look at Anakin as the dark side because he's dark, and Obi-Wan is the light side. He's a tabby cat, so Obi-Wan. It was easier that way.
So Obi-Wan's a little shy, and Anakin's a little menace.
Yeah.
So you can see me kind of putting pressure on Anakin's back right now.
Anakin is being a little
to keep him
a little extra.
behaving.
Why are you so extra?
So if you see me kind of struggling with him during the episode, that's what I'm struggling with because he's being a little extra, and we don't want him damaging any of the equipment.
Oh, hell, just let him go. He'll be okay. I think he's climb on me. If he starts biting at my power cord like he is right now.
All right.
Yeah.
So
anyway.
Nathan has Anakin now because he's being a little.
You're extra. You're being a little extra.
Just like his owner.
No, you're saying I told you that. See, here's the thing. When you guys don't understand. Pets and animals and stuff are among the most fun, joyous things you'll ever have.
Yeah. Like kids.
Yeah.
But also, they're like kids. They don't always listen. And sometimes they do things that you don't want them to do.
Right. So, yeah, I see you. You're trying to go for it again. You're going to stay right here, okay? I need to get like a kennel or something.
Yeah. So on that note, if you're an animal rights activist and you're saying, "Oh, he's talking about kenneling them," it's not that we want to, but there are sometimes
it can be a good thing.
It can be a good thing, but there are sometimes, like right now, when Anakin's here, when we're trying to record, and Anakin's here chewing on cords and acting out and stuff, that we gotta say, okay, they need to be contained in another room or in another way, and we can't.
Keep talking. I'm going to make an adjustment real quick.
And sometimes kennels can provide that for owners. So it's not that we're trying to be cruel to the cats. Is that they're being like this one, like kind of like Anakin. They're being extra, and we need a way to contain them that doesn't do them harm. Hey,
there we go. This one knows my tell.
Because you can see me right here with Anakin. I'm putting pressure on his body.
He looks happy though.
To keep him from going for those cords.
Right.
Now, what could happen is I could very well hurt him, or that could happen.
Yeah, you might hear that a couple times. If they start pawing at me, I might scream like a little girl.
That could happen. So we want a way to safely contain them without injuring them.
Yeah.
And sometimes the way to do that is a kennel. Come here. There you go. All right.
So, anyways. So
you see the title of the video.
You guys seen the title of the video.
Before we dive
I think we need a big disclaimer.
A disclaimer.
Yeah.
I think you put the number in the description, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I put it in the description.
For the suicide hotline?
Yeah. This is a topic that's very near and dear to our hearts, guys.
Yeah.
And if you can't handle suicide talks or domestic violence or that kind of stuff,
other things like that, click off this video.
Go away.
Come back to the next episode.
Don't talk to us. Don't be with us right now.
Right.
Don't watch. This is a deep conversation.
Right. Also, and that's also a trigger warning, by the way. If you've been through suicide talk and you can't handle hearing about it without going somewhere. Leave now. Come back next episode.
Yeah.
We'll talk about NFL stuff. I think is what we talk.
Yeah, next week will be NFL.
Next week will be NFL, and we'll have better things to say.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So the reason why we thought of this topic and are coming back, to streaming on this topic is because Liam from One Direction has passed away due to apparent suicide. And it's very sad.
Yeah.
Very, very sad.
Again, I know I said it during another episode.
I got him.
But you'll see us. You'll probably see us. The cats appear throughout the episode, and you'll see us.
Here, you can take care of. I'm gonna put him in the
you
room
see
over
Nathan.
here.
You just saw Nathan go over, pick up Anakin, and take him out. We have a cat tree in another room that we have. So he's taking.
They probably heard me doing that with the wireless mic.
Right. But
Anakin's in timeout.
But again.
Sorry, Annie, you're going to be in there for another 40 minutes.
But
so,
again, that's...
Yeah.
We have the cats. Obi-Wan's playing with the toy. I don't know if they can hear it.
Oh, that's okay.
And Anakin's scratching at the door. And now Anakin's crying. But
he'll be all right.
But that goes to just what we say before. We need a safe way to contain the cats, and sometimes a kennel is what we need.
So anyway, Liam Payne. That's really sad.
It really is.
And, there's a lot of people throwing out things like, oh, Beyonce did it, or P. Diddy, or they were connected. He had information, blah, 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 blah. Look, I don't believe any of that crap, guys. Let's just put that out there right away.
There's a difference between shedding light on somebody and again, content warning, like what P. Diddy did. Yeah. There's a difference between shedding light on that situation and spouting theories about how something like this happened.
Right.
Dang it. Yeah. This might be a hard episode for me, y'all.
Why don't we give our background on this?
You go first.
Okay, so
mine's gonna take a while.
His might take a while. Mine won't take as long. Have I been unfortunately depressed in the past? Yes. Have I been suicidal? No. I've never had, other than fleeting thoughts here and there of, it'd be a lot easier to process things if I were in heaven. Outside of that stuff, I've not really dealt with that. The only time that I really needed help to stop myself from potentially doing something was just over a year ago. I was in a very fast relationship. It was like a day and it was gone. And I won't go into details and everything that happened that whole week, but what ended up happening is I went to a friend of mine's and I was very low sleep. I was getting a maximum. I was getting a maximum of 3 hours of sleep a night for 4 days straight.
I remember that.
And when I hit that day 3, day 4, when your mind is tired, guys, it does loopy things. And I ended up going to my mentor's house, a very good friend of mine, and I said, I need you to take my weapon for a couple days.
Right.
Or for a couple weeks, because not that I'm ever going to do that. I'm way too chicken to ever do that. But when you get low sleep like that, bad things can happen. And you need to be able to preemptively see things coming, potentially. And so I said, you know what, I need to go get help now before I cause a problem for myself that's worse. And that's what I ended up doing.
Right.
I'm not suicidal. I never have been. That's the only time I've ever had to even wrestle with the topic personally. I've talked many other people down from potentially hurting themselves in high school and whatnot, but thankfully I never had to do that at the college. I never had to have that experience at the college, but yeah. So You go.
Now, me personally, and this is another reason we decided to do this topic.
Yeah.
Me personally, I am someone who has wrestled with that, with suicide. Of, you know, things would be better off if I wasn't here. You know, I I I wrestled with that for about 2 years, and no, y'all don't take this the wrong way. I'm not looking for pity. I'm not looking for, you know, an outpouring of support. It's a very dark place, and I don't want to be put myself in that situation again. Although I will admit that there is a randomness factor in life that it could happen. You know, but
Right.
I did wrestle with it.
Right.
I'm over it now, thankfully. Praise God.
Yeah.
You know,
Seriously. Yeah.
uh, it, if it does, well, I'm not gonna go down that road because.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Only go as far as you want to go, man.
Yeah. But y'all, seriously, I know we mentioned before Nathan put the suicide hotline number in the description.
Yeah.
If you all are struggling with something like that, and you don't want to talk to, you want to talk to someone, call that hotline now.
Yeah.
Don't sit there and just wallow in it. It's not gonna help.
It doesn't help. Yeah, seriously. Go to your mentor, your pastor, your friends, your family. Dial 988. And your phone 988.
Right.
You'll get at the crisis line. And shoot, if you've struggled with that and you think you can help other people, you throw it in the comments,
right.
or talk to somebody or that kind of thing, because there's a lot of people who aren't that lucky to be able to get out of it.
Right.
And for us as people and as Christians, seeing people struggle with that, it's hard. It's very tough, and watching people just self-destruct into a mentality of nobody loves me.
Nobody loves me. I'm better off dead.
Yeah. Nobody wants me around.
The one phrase that stuck through my head is, I want to be free of this pain.
Yeah. Pain, mental pain, emotional pain.
Whatever it is.
It's different, man.
Yep.
And people don't address it. It doesn't get the unfortunate popularity that it deserves.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It doesn't get the attention that it deserves. Everybody thinks the pain is something physical. No, pain. A lot of times pain starts here.
Pain starts here.
Pain starts here.
And it spreads outward.
Yeah. And it's really, really sad.
And you see a lot of people like Liam in the entertainment industries. And I say industries because the movie industry is a lot different from the music industry.
Yeah.
And that is a lot different from the gaming industry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Every entertainment industry is a lot different from every other every other entertainment industry out there.
Right.
But the one that sticks to my mind is Robin Williams.
Yeah. Oh, man.
He brought joy to so many people. He smiled. He made so many people smile. And then he was just like, I can't take this anymore.
The last comedy he did, I'm trying to find it right now.
Yeah.
The last comedy he filmed was so like it was a cry for help.
Uh-huh.
There was like multiple scenes in there that you thought were just part of the movie, and it was supposed to be this big comedy thing. It wasn't.
Right.
It was actually incredibly sad.
Yep.
It was horrible. I think Absolutely Nothing was the name of it, or was it Boulevard? I think it was Boulevard.
Yeah.
Was his last one. It's either Boulevard or absolutely anything. But anyways, one of his last films he did was a
You could-
comedy, and there was so many cries for help in there,
Right.
and people people glossed right over it. People thought, oh, this is supposed to be funny. He's a great actor. Guys, I hate to say it to you, but the best actors aren't acting most of the time.
Right.
Most actors are method actors.
Right.
So when you see, especially your more theatrical type friends doing something, remember what's inside the heart is what's going to come out through the mouth
Right.
and throughout your actions, even if it is theatrically.
Right.
So pay attention. I'm serious. Pay
Right.
attention.
The signs are there, and they're incredibly easy to see.
Yeah.
I
Oh, the
mean,
tells are there. Yeah. people just gotta pay
they're
attention.
clear. Yeah, it's just
And the way that Liam Payne died. I think his girlfriend had left like a day or two previously,
right.
and I'm reading on Forbes here. Authorities said substances were found in Payne's hotel room, suggesting alcohol and drug consumption prior to his death. And he was probably under the influence when he fell off that balcony.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like reports right away were saying he was acting all erratic and going crazy. And if you look at his Snapchat stories and some of the things he posted within the days and hours leading up to his death, look at the eyes. I don't know if you've seen it, but look at his eyes. He looked sad.
Right.
And in one of those videos I saw, his girlfriend made a joke about, there was something stupid that was going on that they were talking about, and she's like, "Oh, we're such losers," and he just went for a split second. You could just
Right.
see the crush, like the defeat, just overwhelm him. And then he looks back up, and then he laughs it off because he remembered he was streaming, and hey,
Yeah.
we're not losers. We love each other. Everything's all great.
And y'all,
He did that whole number.
that's another thing. And y'all, be careful what you say.
Yeah.
Especially around your suicidal friend. Be careful what you say, because what you say could be the tipping point
Yeah.
in either direction.
Yeah, seriously.
You could be the one that they're on the brink of decision, and hopefully this happens. Obi-Wan is playing.
Obi-Wan's having fun with this toy over there.
Yeah.
With their toy.
You could be. Hopefully, this is you. You could be the one that puts the hand on the shoulder, says, "Hey, dude, I care about you," and then they're like, "Oh, somebody cares about me."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they decide not to do it. Or you could be the person, and I don't think Liam's girlfriend was.
She didn't intend for that.
You didn't intend
Yeah.
for that, and sometimes that's not unintentional,
Right.
but sometimes
You can't control everything.
You can't.
Yeah.
You can't control everything, and I've said it multiple times. No matter how many times I complain, I brag that everything I do say is intentional. Not all of it is.
Right.
But
Right.
sometimes things just come out your mouth without you
Right.
thinking twice.
Yep.
But you could just make a joke like you've done thousands of times before, and then they just decide, you know what, I'm done with this.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's a two-way street. It's a two-way street. If somebody takes something that you said and they run with it and go make something else out of it, then okay, that's on
Right.
them. But if you're over here and you're making suicide jokes, or you're making, oh, I hate you, man, jokes.
Right.
There was a popular video, and I used to think it was funny, but then as more time has gone on, I realized, this really isn't funny. Like, this actually might have been a legitimate cry for help. There was a video of somebody playing Rainbow Six Siege, and he said, it was with his all buddies, and he said, "Hey, if anything was going on with me, guys, would you be there for me?" And they all joked around. They all said, "No, absolutely not. No, I hope it sucks, whatever you're going through." And they were saying all this stuff.
Right.
just to kind of razz him and
And
but then it's like, but everyone played it off as a joke. But what if that dude was actually struggling with something? You tell me. What if he was actually struggling?
and right that, and again, I'm like you. I initially found that video funny.
Right.
I know between the two of us, we share reels on Instagram.
Oh, all the time. Yeah.
all the time, and I think that's one of the reels that got sent back and forth 2 or 3 times
Right. Right.
between us. Because initially, but yeah, both of us thought it was funny.
Right. And it is different when
is.
you're somebody who's gone through it and you're on
Right.
the other side of it. I will say that.
Right.
But
You
you got to be careful.
You gotta be careful.
Like, you don't know.
And I know we talked about this the other day, but there is a difference between being someone's acquaintance and someone's friend.
Right.
Like
Right.
all those
Yeah.
all those jokes those guys made in that video,
Uh-huh.
the two of us could probably make between each other. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. Guys, we're imperfect too.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But I've always considered the mark of a good friendship is
Mm-hmm.
being able to insult each other.
Right.
Because we know we do. Me and Nathan know that when we insult each other, we call each other ugly. We don't really mean it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Right.
not something.
Yeah, no,
it's not
we
something we're
just
saying
joke. Yeah.
absolutely with absolute
Right.
malicious intent. But a mark of a good friend is being able to insult each other
Right.
without having to worry about that.
Mm-hmm.
But still,
Right.
you can't say, "Oh, I'm this." You can't think I'm this guy's good friend, and then insult them, and then
Right.
they're offended at it.
Mm-hmm.
That means you're not a good enough friend. You're
Right.
not that level of friend where you can just say things.
Right.
And again, there is a point where it's just taking things too far, and
Yeah.
you just need to stop.
Yeah. Like there's a fine line. There's
Right.
a very fine line. Yeah. Now, that also said, if you're friends with somebody, just to kind of move the topic forward,
Right.
if you're friends with somebody and you know that they're struggling, and you have, I don't know how else to say it. If you have some authority over some of the things in their life to help them,
Right.
make sure you do everything possible to do that. On this Forbes thing, according to BBC, the manager expressed concern that the guest has a balcony, and they were afraid that they might do something to put their life at risk. The manager went and told them that.
Right.
Now, this is me not knowing how much authority the manager had over Liam or who signs the checks or anything.
Right.
If I were that manager, I would say, you're leaving this, and you're going to a different room, or we're going to a different hotel.
Right.
But you are not going to have a balcony. You're going to be on a first floor level, and you're going to have people checking on you every
Right.
hour. And you will not have substances or alcohol delivered to your room.
Right.
Because I know in other countries that's a thing too. We're not putting up with this.
We're just
And you and your girlfriend, or you and your wife, or you and whomever is going to be checking on you a lot.
yeah, and there's a certain where you, and again, that hotel manager probably could have said, "Hey, you mind if we move you to a first floor
Yeah.
room?"
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're not gonna send you any alcohol or anything else.
Right.
Unfortunately, yeah.
It does make me wonder why his girlfriend left.
Yeah.
Like, he's struggling. The situation he's in. Why did you leave?
Right.
Like, I get it. Okay, like it says on here, it says, this is on a different article on E-Online. E-Online, sorry. It says, she said that she was so ready to leave before he passed away. Honestly, love South America, but I hate to stay in one place for too long. And then, yeah, it's like, I get it. If you don't want to stay in one place for too long or whatever, I understand that feeling. I understand not wanting to be cooped up in one spot for too long,
Right.
and the touring life that he provided probably enabled a lot of that.
Right.
But if you really love that dude, don't leave. Now,
Right.
I don't want to be talking out of ignorance. They could have been they had pre-organized arrangements, and he had to go
Right.
do something else, or Universal at studios had him do something. I don't know.
Or where he was he had to stay and she
Right.
was needed somewhere else.
They could have been preoccupied.
And again,
so I don't want to step in on that, but that's just me.
I hate saying I don't hate saying this. But I want to bring this to everyone's attention. In like the entertainment stars' life.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna bring up Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. They're dating right now. It's there. I will say, this is just my opinion. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I will say right now, by the way they were interacting, there is a reasonable chance that they could get married. Again,
but
that's just from my perspective.
What happens if that doesn't happen?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But again, and just speaking to what you were talking about, Taylor's she's a $1 billion concert singer.
Yeah.
So, I think last season she was in Buenos Aires, and he was here because he had to play
playing,
football.
yeah.
He was
and
playing.
he looks sad.
Right. And
he
again,
looks sad.
so people are like, "Oh, is Taylor and Travis's relationship in trouble because she wasn't at the game?"
She's been at every other thing though. So
she's been at a lot of the games. You have to remember that she's a concert singer. She tours around the world, not just the country, around the world. She can't be at every one of his games, just like he can't be at every one of her concerts.
Right. But he looked very sad.
Yeah,
he looked very upset, and they didn't really cover it on his podcast. So that tells me that there is something going on with Trav. But what is it? I don't know. And sometimes that's the other thing. Zach, I almost called you Dawson. I was hanging out with my other friend this week. I was out of town. But Zach, that's another thing you brought. I think you kind of shown to light is that you don't need to know everything that's going on with somebody.
Right.
You see a friend of yours or an acquaintance of yours, and you know they're going through something. Okay, what was the first thing that Job's friends did? The only thing that was right.
They went to him. So the first thing they recorded as doing, they had a prearranged time to meet up.
Yep.
They came together, saw their friend in the worst state of his entire life.
Yep.
Rent their clothes, wept, sat down next to him, and had a pity party for. Oh, okay.
For a week.
For a week.
Well,
I shouldn't say pity party.
It wasn't quite a pity party, but
I should say they mourned with him.
Yeah. They were with him.
They were with him. They mourned with him.
Talk at all
for a week.
They didn't speak a word other than hello.
Then they opened their big fat mouths and
then they got in trouble. But they were just there. You don't need to know what's going on.
Right.
Get your nosy butt out of it.
Right.
And I've learned that one the hard way too.
Right.
Get your nosy butt out of it.
And exactly, because there are people like I've mentioned this before. If you all know me, you all know the answer to the question. My dad went to prison. No, I am not going to tell you why on this podcast. That no,
not happening. Sorry.
If you know me personally, you can come up and ask, and you still might get a no.
Yep.
But I'm not going to tell you why on this podcast.
Sorry.
Deal with it.
Sucks to suck.
But my dad.
I'm not telling y'all everything I struggle with either.
Right.
Both current and past.
Right.
Actually, that's the most I opened up about that.
That's it. That one situation.
Situation publicly.
Yeah. But But my dad is in prison. Y'all don't need to know because y'all don't know me personally.
Sorry.
It's not. It's nothing against you.
No, it is. We don't know you. I'm just gonna say it. We don't know you.
We don't know you. But what I was saying was, it's not against you as a person.
Right.
I'm not saying you're a bad person or I can't trust you. Well, I don't know if I can trust you.
That's Anyway, um,
Anyway, but yeah, it's
yeah.
you don't need to know everything your friends are going through. So
So don't worry about it. You're okay.
come to them, and I can hear Anakin in the other room
Yeah, Anakin's
whining
upset.
his heart out. I'm sorry, I
That's
have to
okay.
introduce some levity into this podcast.
No, that's good. It's a good thing that we did that. It's a
Anyway,
good thing.
where was I going with it next?
Um, I think you got it. I don't remember where we're headed, but now with Liam, his girlfriend came out and said, "Hey, you know what? You're my everything. I want you to know I loved you unconditionally and completely. I will continue to love you for the rest of my life. I love you, Liam." I can't imagine what that family and what his loved ones are going through right now.
Right.
I mean,
And
nobody thought that the next One Direction reunion was going to be at a funeral.
right.
And I think the details about what happened with One Direction are public enough that I can say fairly confidently that two of the members in the band did everyone else dirty. Or at least one of them. The other one knew information, but
right.
And then the way that Liam followed everybody online, and only I think it was Niall. That was it. Called him back and whatever. And that's not indicative of anything.
Right.
It doesn't show anything. Social media, people don't follow or whatever. But when the details of how things went down with One Direction came out, and how that friendship between all of those people kind of just splintered and exploded.
Right.
It makes you wonder, when did it start? Did it start at that point where, you're 14 years old,
You're on top of the world.
You're on top of the world, and then a few years later, things you think are going great, and all of a sudden, boom, you get sold out, everything just gone.
All your friends are gone. They're in different directions.
Right.
And a lot of the reasons, and a lot of those like boy bands break up, and some of those boy bands, as shown on TV, I'll say it that way.
Yeah.
A lot of the ways, bands and boy bands and other bands break up.
Right.
And I think it's real enough as not only on TV but also in real life.
Right.
Is that there's constant fighting. Eventually, there's just constant fighting.
Yeah.
And sometimes the band recognizes, hey, we're fighting too much. We're better off apart, and they part amicably.
Right.
Amicably. However you say that word.
Amicably, yeah.
Amicably.
You're right. Yep.
They part amicably, say, hey, we just didn't work together. Let's go to our separate directions. Have a good career. Have a good life.
Yeah.
But sometimes the fighting gets so bad that the band blows up. And the members are just like, I don't want to ever see you guys again. I don't ever want to talk to you guys again. Right. And eventually they might come around like One Direction did and be like, oh, we're all friends now.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy the way that different bands break up. I found a couple more things that people said on online here, and this is back to the Forbes article. Simon Cowell, the guy who put them all together, said he's feeling heartbroken and empty, and this isn't the full thing. Basically, though, I read the full thing earlier. But yeah, heartbroken, empty. Simon Cowell had a very high opinion of Liam, saying that he very much was very talented and very driven towards singing and his musicianship, and he held a very high opinion of Liam, and so it's just devastating. It's like, I hope, coming off of September, which is National Suicide Awareness Month,
Uh-huh.
and I think October is Men's Awareness Month,
Yeah.
if I remember right, isn't it?
And while you're looking that up,
Yeah,
I
I
just
wanna
want
Double check that fact.
This is a, and you brought up what his girlfriend said and what his Simon Cowell said, and there are many others that were reacting. If you are sitting there struggling with suicide, and I hope we have been a positive impact on your life, that we want to see more of us, more of our goofballedness. I don't want to take credit for anything, but if you
I'm sorry. The month of June is Men's Health Awareness Month. I'm trying to remember what October is. Let me look.
yeah, but if you are struggling with suicide or hurting yourself in any way, I just want to tell you, if you honestly think that it'll be better off, you can escape the pain. Yes, you can escape the pain, but that doesn't mean the pain disappears. It just gets passed on to everybody else.
Right. Mental Illness Awareness Week was October 3rd through the 9th.
Right.
And World Mental Health Day was October 10th. That's what I was thinking of.
All right.
I just wanted to put that out there. Sorry.
All right. But yeah, if you are not, it's an unfortunate product of this world. You are not making the pain disappear. You are just escaping from it. But you're taking that pain and saying, "I can't take this pain anymore. Here, you take it."
Yeah, you're just passing on along the pain
And
to other people.
yeah,
Which is, and this is where people really get mad when addressing suicide. This is where the selfish part of suicide comes in.
right.
Because suicide at the end of the day is all about you. We don't want to come down and drop the hammer on you and say,
Right.
if you're contemplating suicide or know somebody who has,
You're
or
the
maybe
worst
it's gone
person
through it.
ever. We're not saying
We're
that.
not saying that
No.
at all.
No.
We're trying to state a practical truth out of grace and love while also being real. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. There are two sides to every story.
Yeah.
There's the part where we care about you. We care about you.
Yeah.
We care about your
Yeah.
mental health. There are people that here that care about
Yeah.
you. But the other that's one part. The other part is we have to realize that there is the ugly side of suicide. It's really selfish. You used to call it the real part.
Yeah.
And this is what I believe. I believe suicide is a sin because you're deliberate. You're made in God's image,
Yeah.
y'all.
We don't believe that it unsaves you.
We don't believe that it saves you. So
Yeah.
you're a Christian and you're struggling with suicide, and
Call somebody. Get some
Yeah.
help.
first of all, call
For
someone,
real.
your pastor, your youth pastor, your
Yeah. Anybody who you trust.
your a family member.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I know, there's only one unforgivable sin mentioned in the Bible.
And it's very hard for us to perform that. You basically have to be a specified follower of Satan.
Right.
It's got to be pretty specific.
And there's only one unforgivable sin in the Bible.
Yeah.
So we're not saying that if you're a Christian and you're struggling with suicide, or you know someone, a Christian who has committed suicide, that they ended up in hell because they committed suicide. No. But we are made in the image of God, and suicide does,
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sorry, I'm just listening. I was reading something on here.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that's where the bigger part of Job comes in is his friends. Yes, his friends did an enormous good
Yeah.
of sitting there.
Yeah.
And
What about Elijah though? That bro didn't have any friends.
right. Wait on that for a minute. I'm talking.
I know. I wanted to throw
But
that under the door.
Job's friends did a good thing. They came with him. They sat down with him and mourned for him for a week.
Yeah.
And I'll give them a little bit more credit. They when he started talking about it, they started talking about it.
Yeah.
So if you have a friend who's struggling with something and they come to you, yes, do start talking about it. However,
Just don't be stupid about it.
yes, don't be like Job's friends and put everything all the blame on them, because then that's just gonna drive them further, and then you're gonna be.
Yep. He's having fun.
Yep.
She's jumping around.
Yeah.
It looks like she's enjoying the time without her brother. Sorry, our cat's meowing.
She's-
She's enjoying the time without her brother.
I think she's taunting him over there. She's just going over to the door where we have him locked up, and I think she's just pawing at it, like enough till that he'll hear it, and then he's.
Anyway, you were saying.
But yeah. Don't be Job's friend. Be Job's friends who come to him and sit down with him for a week.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
when he was ready to open up, talk to him. Then you can talk. But be careful what you say.
Yeah.
Always be careful what you say.
Oh, okay. Sorry, there was someone who was commenting, and I saw it here, and I just yeah.
You're right.
We're not talking to people specifically.
Again.
We don't really pay attention to how many people or which people are watching the show.
Right.
So, sorry, man.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
So Elijah's friends. Elijah himself said it. He didn't really have anybody.
He didn't really have anybody.
And it's true. He didn't have a whole lot of people.
Right.
There was only like 500 followers
Right.
at that time. And that doesn't mean they were prophets. It means that they were just followers in general. So he
Right.
could have been one of the only prophets left.
And
At least out of his level and regard.
again,
But
he sat there watching Ahab and Jezebel
oh yeah,
murder and otherwise
just
harm.
go after him. Yeah.
Just go after all
Yeah.
the other prophets, just for telling them what God said.
Yeah. So here's the. Oh, I'm from youth group, by the way. Oh, hey, buddy.
Hey,
I can't tell which one you are based on your username. But hi.
hi.
Nice to meet you, man. So, yeah, Elijah. So,
Right.
what did he do when he was upset? Well, when he was upset, he went out to the middle of nowhere, the middle of the wilderness,
Right.
and said, "All right, screw it. I'm, God, just take me now. I'm so done." And he goes to sleep. Angel wakes him up a little bit later, gives him a snack. So here's some hotcakes, dude. And then he takes a nap again after having
Give me a
another
minute.
snack, and then he gets up again, and then there's another hotcake ready to go. And then he eats the hotcake, he takes off, and he goes off on his merry way to the cave. And then he's depressed in the cave again. And then in the cave, the Lord shows his power right outside the entrance of the cave. And then it was in the gentle wind that he sent at the very end, the gentle blowing wind outside, that the Lord spoke to him and said, "Hey, man, come on out. It's okay. You're all good."
Come on. I'm right here.
And so the Lord is so gentle. And that's why it makes me really, really sad when I see this kind of thing happen. Because you see people who can't, who won't embrace
Right.
the Lord, who won't embrace God, so that they can truly move on with their feelings and how they're handling things internally. Because in reality, okay, it does beg the question, what is the point of life if it just sucks and then you die and you don't have that hope?
Right.
What's the point? And I think that's where a lot of depressed and suicidal victims sadly get it right, but they don't address the issue. They don't want to take hold of the Lord, and that's where they get it wrong. They get the beginning half of it right, but they get the ending half of it wrong. They get the answer wrong. A lot of people struggle with it, so
Right.
what's the solution? Well, the solution is either people choose God or people die.
Right.
or they get themselves stuck in a never-ending cycle.
Right. It's really depressing.
It's sad. It makes me sad.
It does make me sad too. But
Yeah.
as followers of God, sorry, I got. As followers of God, we have to understand
good.
that we do have that hope.
Mm-hmm.
We can go to God with this.
Yeah.
Elijah.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, good and bad here. Elijah got right. He went to God.
Right.
He got it wrong. He said, "I want to die."
Yeah.
And God knew how to handle that.
Yeah.
Just like God knew how to handle Jonah.
Yeah.
When Jonah said, "I am so mad about this plan. I want to die," and God was just like,
What are you doing, bro?
"Why are you?"
Yeah. God handles a lot of it very differently, but
You're
he's
right.
always gentle and gracious. I've
Right.
noticed, like he always is every time. Getting back to Liam here a bit. So this was the end of that Forbes article. I've been kind of scrolling through.
Right.
Their music surged on Spotify and Apple Music and everything.
Right.
Obviously. And the song Night Changes, one of its biggest hits with the sentimental message about growing older, was the 6th most streamed song worldwide on Spotify after Payne's death.
Uh-huh.
It's also number 6 right now on TikTok's weekly chart of trending songs. So, I mean, literally everybody's paying tribute to this dude.
Yeah.
But the whole world can love you,
Right.
and yet people still feel empty.
Right.
People still feel like they're hated. People still feel like, and here's the thing too, while you may emotionally love somebody or have empathy or sympathy
Right.
towards somebody, especially if you're popular, you're more well known.
Right.
They don't know that. To them, it's fake.
Right.
Because everybody loves me. What does the word love mean?
Right.
Let's dive into that. What on earth does the word love mean? Love is a noun and a verb. Love takes work. Love is work.
Right.
You don't just feel it.
One of my favorite songs, a song by Humble and Kind by by Tim McGraw. One of the lines in that, this is one of my favorite lines in a song done by anyone.
Uh-huh.
He says, I love you" ain't no pickup line.
Yeah. Don't get me started, dude. Don't get me started.
Y'all, that is one of the truest statements I have ever heard. And I'm not gonna comment
It's not a pickup line.
on anything about Tim McGraw's personal life. Whatever. It's there.
Oh, no. He knows it's not a pickup line.
It's there. I know. It's there. Tim
Yeah.
McGraw's personal life is there. I'll just say that.
you ain't wrong.
But that is still one of the truest statements ever. I love you is not a pickup line.
Yeah. It makes me so mad when I hear people say that, oh, I was just flirting or I was just, putting it out there.
Right.
I'm like, no.
No.
No, that word, especially to guys like me who actually understand what it means,
Right.
and guys like you who understand what that word means,
Right.
that's a bigger word. I went on Webster's here, Merriam-Webster. I put my hand on my knee and I hit the tendon and my knee freaked out. Sorry, guys.
Thank the Lord you didn't go on Urban Dictionary.
Right. Yeah, no kidding. But no, I'm on Merriam-Webster. I did it again. I'm on Merriam-Webster. And, okay, the noun, I'll just read what the noun phrase is. A strong affection for another arising out of kinship or personal ties. Okay. That's a pretty good
Right.
definition. Here's the verb format of it. To feel a lover's passion, devotion, or tenderness. That's an action. Like, you actually have to, feel it.
Right.
Um, Another one is to hold dear, to cherish, to like or desire actively, to take pleasure in, to thrive in. Um,
Right.
it it takes work to have love. And when you got everybody using it in the noun format, it becomes fake
Right.
because everybody says they love me, but nobody shows up.
Right.
Like, you can't love somebody and not show up. So if you
Right.
say that you love somebody, if you're saying that you do love somebody, prove it.
Right.
Because if you're not willing to prove it, then don't even say the word. Don't even put it out there. The people that love you are the people that show up.
Right. Another one of my favorite country songs. You find out who your friends are, and that song just talks about all when life's going wrong. You find out who your friends are when your tire's flat.
Right. Right.
You know.
Yep.
When and don't take this person anything.
No,
when
I
the
got you.
when the transmission in your van breaks.
Hey, I realized I had people that love me
Right.
a lot in that time.
Exactly.
It sucked because I was like really hurting with some other things that were going on in my life
Uh-huh.
at that time too, and then that just happened to be right on top of it. But the Lord got me out, and honestly got me out ahead. So
Right. Don't the
yeah.
I think the big point we're saying here is don't say the word love if you don't mean it.
Yeah.
Love that you
Yeah.
said it. Love is a noun and a verb.
It's both and. It's both and.
Which means
Mm-hmm.
it's there's some love that is static. I don't. How do I want to say? There's some love. I'm not trying to say love can change.
Mm-hmm.
There's some love that can change, and there's some love that can't.
Right. There's times when you need tough love.
Right.
There's times when you need tender love. There's
Right.
times when you need relationship love. There's times when you need self-love.
Right.
There's times when you give love. There's times when you take love. Holy cow, we're getting ecclesiastical up in here.
You're right.
Time for love, a time for hate.
Right.
Time to build and time to tear down, and time to kick
Yeah.
kick rocks and but
And I just want to tell you,
yeah,
love
go for it.
and hate. Yeah, those two things, those two ideas, those two emotions, a lot closer than a lot of people
Yeah.
understand.
A lot of times hate comes out of love, unfortunately. Love that went wrong.
Right.
But yeah, if you really love somebody, if you got a friend that's really near and dear.
Right.
I had a friend this week. I think I mentioned it at the beginning of the show. I had a friend earlier this week who was going through a hard time.
Right.
Won't give you the details, but they're going
Right.
through a hard time, some health stuff. And, I sat down and I said, you know what? I only had a few days to plan for this. I said, I need to go out there because this was a guy who was there for me when things got crazy for me.
Uh-huh.
And I've had multiple seasons where things got crazy, as everyone does. But he was there for one of those seasons where I was really low, and he really helped me. And I said, he's not doing well. I need to get out there. So,
Right.
okay, pack my bags, make a 6-hour journey, take a couple days off work, and
Mm-hmm.
make it happen. Because that's what you do when you actually love people.
Uh-huh.
Don't lead people on with love. And I don't say that just in a romantic type thing.
Right.
I mean that in, like, if you really love people, don't just tell them that and then not back it up.
Right.
If you don't back it up, you don't love them. I'm sorry. And that might sound like tough love from me, and it is tough love.
Right.
And some of y'all probably need to hear it right now. And this is actually a topic I've been very passionate about for a very long time, as Zach probably knows. And that's why my response at first when I read that his girlfriend left a couple days early, that's why that my response was the way that was.
Right.
Because if you truly love somebody, you'll be there.
Right.
I don't want to assume anything. I don't want to assume they didn't have other plans or whatever. I don't want to be
Right.
that guy. That was
And-
just my gut response. I just want to put that
And
out there.
again, a friend can be telling you nothing about their struggle with suicide.
Right.
They can tell you. They can go.
Yeah.
Like. They can tell you nothing.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain friends of mine that when I was struggling with suicide, some of them knew right away, and others had no clue.
Look at somebody's eyes.
Yeah.
If you know they're struggling, look at their eyes. If you don't know that they're struggling, look at their eyes.
Right.
The eyes are a really big tell. The eyes don't lie.
Right.
So, okay, I think we beat this into next month. So, hey, bud. Now this cat's starting to get a little bit.
Antsy.
How you doing?
All right.
All right.
Again.
I'm not going to play the outro. I don't think the vibe for that's appropriate. So,
Again, one last time before we end, y'all. If you're always struggling with suicide, call the hotline. If you know us personally,
Right.
you can
Find
call,
us.
Find us. Call,
Yeah.
message us,
Mm-hmm.
whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
This isn't something you should go through alone. You know, if something
Mm-hmm.
again, if something on this episode spoke to you,
Yeah.
This probably isn't the only time we'll tackle a difficult subject like this.
Right.
Feel free to subscribe. Feel free to comment.
Mm-hmm.
I hate doing this on episodes like this because it just does. It feels disingenuous when you self plug, you know. On episodes
No.
like
Plug
this.
it. Plug it.
But you feel like you want to stay with us for this journey. Again, next episode won't be as heavy.
Yeah. Next episode's gonna be football, so
Yeah.
it's all right.
And again, there are other episodes we have on the channel that are funny, and we'll have more funny episodes in the
Yeah.
future. I think we're gonna take out a day out here in a couple weeks to
Mm-hmm.
just to plan and plan some
Mhm.
goofy episodes.
Yeah.
But until then, like, comment, subscribe, all that
Yeah.
junk.
Do all the things. Share, like, comment, like you said.
You're right.
Hit the bell. Yeah, I'm not gonna play the outro because
All right.
it's too musical for this topic. But we thank you guys.
Thank you guys for
praying
joining
for
us.
y'all. If you're struggling,
Let somebody know.
988.
988. Let
Call your
somebody
church. Call somebody. We
All
love
right.
you. Okay.
know. All right.
See you guys.
Bye.